What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Other video. Today's video, we're diving into a deck that's, we're going to go with off control for a minute. I've done a few control videos in a row if you haven't seen already. I've done Grixis, there's Esper, and I forget what the other one is, but I've done other control decks, so I figured I'd go with like a more aggro deck, and I'm probably late to this party because I didn't really play a lot of these other like side decks that came out when M21 came out. This deck here is an Izzet Spells deck. If you haven't seen it already, it's pretty much a deck that utilizes spells in your deck to pretty much pump up the creatures that you're going to attack with. So pretty much it's just playing a lot of cheap spells that just kind of, you know, help our creatures out overall. The problem with the deck, it is kind of like a one-trick pony, because if our opponent limits their creatures, we really can't kill our opponent. But we have things to hopefully, when we get creatures out, we can do very fast burst damage, and our opponent hopefully can't do anything to pretty much stop it. So overall, the deck is pretty interesting in that sense. It's very budget friendly in the sense that you don't really need to invest a lot of wild cards into when it comes to rares and mythics. I think there's only 8 in the deck in total. You can actually probably get away with even eliminating 4 of those if you decide to go with a little bit more common basic lands instead of either adding more islands and mountains, adding in the other tap like Guildgate or something for tap lands. But overall, the deck is pretty straightforward in that sense. But overall, I feel like I want to do this deck. It's a fun deck. I played a couple test games just to kind of see how the deck overall works, made a couple little tweaks just for my personal preference. There's versions of the deck that go just very spell heavy with only a couple creatures, like a handful of creatures in the deck. So I felt like I was kind of not drawing them not that often. So if you want to keep it that way, then you can go that way. But I decided to add in a third creature and just do 4 copies of that creature to make it a little bit, I feel like a little bit smoother. Hopefully have creatures that may be able to do a decent amount of damage. So enough said, let's dive into the deck. Let's kind of see what it goes, break it down, just to help you figure it out, kind of like go along with me. And if you decide to build a deck, hopefully you enjoy it. If you like the video, hit that like button. Definitely helps the channel out. I appreciate all the likes. If you want to suggest a deck that you want me to do in the future, you know, leave me in the comments below with a deck idea or color scheme, and maybe I can try to come up with something or find something. So enough said, let's dive into the deck. So to start off, I mean, the deck is pretty straightforward. The curve, the most expensive thing in the deck is technically 5. But in reality, everything is really 2 or less. Like light up a stage and Storm Entity right off the bat, those get cheaper if you do certain things in order to kind of activate their other cost. But overall, the deck is pretty straightforward in that manner. So we're gonna start with 4 ops, just a quick scry and draw a card, just to kind of hopefully refill our hand a little bit. Triggers one of our triggers our creatures, because our creatures are whenever we cast a non-creature spell, it gets things get counters. Whenever things go in the graveyard, if it's instants or sorceries, we get closer and closer to making something cheaper to pump up our creature. And there's an ability called Prowess that came back with M21 that whenever we cast a non-creature spell, the creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So that's just the thing. So Opt is a good card to help us kind of like look at the top card, kind of dig a little bit deeper, kind of scry and see, you know, kind of help us draw a little bit better, as well as drawing a card is always good just to kind of fill our hand back up after we play it. Then we go with the Salamander, the Tandamander. It's 1 cost, 1/1 with flying. It doesn't look too scary right off the bat, but the ability here, it has adapt 4, and this ability costs 1 less for each instead of our sorcery card in your graveyard. So overall, the more spells we play throughout the game, we get to a point we can pay literally maybe 1 blue mana at most, and we can get into a 5/5 right off the bat, which could hopefully close out the game if we get to that point. But overall, it's a 1 cost, 1/1, which is definitely good just to kind of, you know, have something. Like I said, I was running into issues where I wasn't getting creatures, so I felt like he was a good add just to kind of like just give me another creature to possibly hit. We got a Crash Through, gives all our creatures trample and then in turn. I mean, our creatures are flying, so I mean, unless our opponents are playing flyers, a lot of times our opponent doesn't really have any good blocks unless they have reach. But it's good, so all our creatures trample until end of turn, and we can draw a card. It's at sorcery speed, so we have to play during our first main phase before combat. So it is kind of like we can't surprise our opponent by playing this card. But the draw a card effect is also good because, you know, we refill our hand back up after we play this card. So yet again, just something to trigger triggers of non-creature spells. Infuriate, another good card. It gives target creature +3/+2, so it's almost like a giant growth for red. Kind of pumps up our creatures when it triggers with the prowess and or the overall. Whenever you play a non-creature spell ability, your creature gets an additional +1/+1. So it's really gives your target non-creature, like those 2 cards in the deck, actually +4/+3, and the +1/+1 kind of stays. So there's that. Shock is just good spot removal. It's also just, you know, that little bit of extra damage. We have late up the stage in the deck, so in case you don't really have a good attack, maybe you just do, you know, 2 damage into your opponent, play up late up the stage, maybe dig a little bit deeper. Definitely good in that regard. So overall, just good for spot removal. Frantic Inventory, another card that we draw a card, and then depending on how many of these we have in our graveyard, we draw more cards. The later in the game, we play more of them. Instant speed, so we can play it in response. We can kind of like, you know, do this. It's not good at the bat, but as we get into the later game, if we have more copies and our graveyard's not being removed spell-wise, it's not a bad card. Breaking Claws gives target creature double strike at the end of the turn. I actually use this in a way defensively where I give my creature double strike, which then in theory gives it first strike to block a Questing Beast to kind of like stop them from doing damage to me. So definitely it was actually interesting that way, but this is actually one of the ways we can finish our opponent. We play a couple spells, play this, do like 10 points of damage, and our opponent can't do anything about it. Also, if we don't really need it, we can always cycle it, but the first ability is actually fairly strong. Then our second creature, which is Sprite Dragon, if you haven't seen it. It's a flying haster. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Our deck is mostly spells, so it's going to get +1/+1 counters. It gets very big very quickly. Like I said, you play like an Infuriate, you play like Breaking Claws, this thing gets very dangerous very quickly. Overall, pretty good card. The only problem is, like, a lot of these cards are weak when they come out, so if our opponent has any spot removal that kind of hits them when they're small, unfortunately, we're going to lose the cards, but hopefully we can kind of pump it up before they can do anything like that. Like the Stage, another solid card. It's a 3-cost sorcery spell, but the Spectacle is really, if you haven't seen it in mono red, it's really where it's at. We have to exile, tap the cards of our library until the end of the next turn. We have to play those cards, so it's a draw 2 essentially for 1 if we do damage to our opponent. I honestly, this is like one of the best cards. It is going to rotate out shortly, but it's a good card for the deck to just help us refill our hand back up. Then you got Stormwing Entity. It's a 5-cost 3/3 flying prowess. This is the guy that has prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 on turn. It has flying, and then the ability here is it costs 3 less if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. So it essentially, if you played like an up during your own turn, or even a crash through or something like that, it's gonna get cheaper. And then it also, when it enters the battlefield, we have to scry, so we have to kind of figure out what the top of our library is. So if we want to draw like maybe something to play the following turn when it comes to the battlefields, definitely good there. Overall 3/3. This is kind of like the big card in the deck, but you know, this and the Sprite Dragon are pretty solid. You can run with both. Either or will work. In either or will get pumped up when you play your non-creature spells. So maybe you just need a you know, Raking Claws and a Fury and maybe a Crash Through, and you could honestly like swing it and win in one turn without your opponent having to be able to do anything. Then we got 8 islands, 6 mountains, 4 steam vents, and 4 stiff fire cliffs. Like I said, you can always drop the steam vents and also play in the guild gates to balance that out if you don't have a lot of wild cards to work with. These also rotate out, so I wouldn't want to waste your wild cards. But overall, I would say the Stormwing Entity is probably the one card you probably need in the deck. It's the only rare that then you would need. But overall, this deck is very budget friendly, so if you want to build it now, there's certain cards you probably can get that will be around post rotation. But it's a fun deck. Let's dive into some games, kind of see how we do, and I'll catch you after we play the games. Alright, so around the play, we have 2 creatures, so actually this is not bad. So we'll keep this. We're gonna play the Swiftwater Cliffs anyway on turn 1. We're gonna save the opt on turn 3 when we could probably play the Stormwing. So our opponent has a very interesting name. Okay, so they're playing a mill style deck, so interesting. Well, there goes one of our Raking Claws. I mean, this will help us though, because if they do decide to mill us, we can get Frantic Inventories in our graveyard. Alright, so I'll play a mill, essentially. So let's see if we can hopefully get our opponent. I'm gonna draw. That's fine. Another opt, which is good. We're gonna pay 2 life. We'll opt again. A land's good, so I'm gonna draw that, and then I'll play this. Our opponent may mill us, so that's the only issue here. I'll just keep these cards. I'm not worried about if I lose them, but if our opponent mills us, if they mill us. They're going to Mirror route, which is interesting, so maybe it's like a rogue build, or maybe they're going to Fairy. Okay. Well, that's fine. Our opponent is playing like a lot of removal. I probably could have swapped the 2, but we'll just do this. Yeah, we'll keep that. Another one. Make your opponent have an answer. Let's see. You know what? If they mill those lands, I don't really care, so we'll keep them again. So, I'm not too scared. I mean, I would really love a Raking Claw, though, because I could swing in pretty decent next turn if I wanted to. Pass. I'll take one. They may just they may play another Thieves Guild Enforcer, which I'm not worried about. Alright, or not. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that they would do damage to us. We'll swing in here, see what they do. Alright. No. No, not the islands. Let's draw here. That's actually really good. Resolve. Scry. They're gonna look for an answer now. We did get the Dorat here, or the Sprite Dragon, so that's actually not bad. They like their card. Maybe they have a kill spell. Alright, that's fine. I'm still not worried in that aspect, just because I have things to do. I can't play a land, but a part of me wants to play late the stage, but a part of me just wants to play this guy as a board thing, because next turn it could get really dangerous for us, or for them, if they're not careful. That's fine. So they're playing like a rogue Dimir, like a Dimir rogue build. I'll take 6. No blocks. If they have a Heartless Act, they gotta play it. Possibly now? Is that lethal? Nah, it can't be lethal. We'll swing in and see what happens. It's gonna be a lot of damage. It actually may be lethal if they don't kill this, so yeah. If they don't kill the Stormwing, that's 16 right there. 17. And they scoop up in shock because they thought they had me, I guess. We're on the play. I actually like this hand yet again. This is pretty good. I'm gonna just play Steam Vents and play tap. That comes in play for the haste, so we'll play that tap. Just like go. We definitely have cards to make him a threat, so it's always good. Mono black. So the only problem is when we play like decks that have the ability to have answers for things, it gets a little hairy. That's the thing. We play very few creatures that if they're able to answer our creatures, then we're in a situation. So that's the only one. That's like the one big problem with the deck, is that if they answer our card. Also, they have one. They're looking at their mana. Are they? Oh, we share the same mana. Oh, okay. It's a life gain deck. Interesting. Let's see what we want to do here. I think we play Salamander, right? I think we just shock that. Just because. Why not? I'm not really a big fan. You know, if they got a thing to gain some life, why not slow them down a little bit? I could have gone for another card, but I didn't want to go too heavy. So, kind of just pacing ourselves right now. I could use another red mana, would be nice. That's perfectly fine. Puts us in a perfect range to allow us, you know, to just get a little bit bigger. Yes. Alright, another island's not terrible. I'm gonna actually attack with both and see what they do here. Do they think we have a trick here? I don't have enough mana. Question is, do they really want to take the damage? Either way, I'm gonna probably... in a weird way, it allows me to, you know, get through. And now we can, you know, get some threats. Can I cast next turn? Can I pump that? Like, it's 3, this makes it 3 less, that puts it down to 5. If I play Crash Through, it all depends what we hit when we go through. Our opponent's like looking at our board. We have 4, 7, 8 on the board. Crash Through pumps up Stormwing and the Sprite Dragon, so that's an additional 2 points of damage. We're gonna be like 3 short right now. If we, actually, if we play this other one, that actually increases it. We may actually, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Okay, our opponent didn't want to see this through. I guess they didn't have a way to gain life. I don't really know, but I guess they were too far behind. I go first. Oh, this is actually a good hand. Yeah, well, Cliffs, Sprite Dragon, Sand is actually pretty good. Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, this is really good for us. I apologize, someone's in the process of messaging me on the phone. Okay, so we have a lay at the stage. They're gonna sacrifice. It's fine. I don't know what we're playing against. Mono black of some sort? Okay. Interesting. Surveil? Let's see what they toss in the bin, if they're gonna toss anything. They did not toss. Oh, they tossed the card. Right? Yep, they kept both cards on top. Interesting. So yeah, we'll play the Opt. Yep, we'll draw that. We'll go to combat. I don't have another. Oh, I don't have another blue mana. That's fine. I just realized that after the fact. It's okay. I'm doing a lot of things not realizing I don't have any blue mana, but we can play both these cards next turn. That's fine. 3 colors. Interesting. We'll play the Cliffs. Play the Salamander. And we'll say go. I'm very curious what our opponent's playing. Another blue. Okay. You may reveal the first card you draw. Interesting. Is that flying? That's flying. Interesting. Interesting. We'll shock your face. Make this cheaper. Scry 2. Do I need double opt? Double opt could be good. Play another Salamander. The Salamanders are amazing, and no attacks. Alright. I'm partially confused by what they're trying to do here. You have no red. Okay, there you go. They're going ham. And that's good for them, I guess. They are going ham. I guess. And they didn't attack. I'll opt. Get my opt. I'll opt to get my opt. Let's see what they do here. Maybe they do something? They got a block next turn. Narset.
There are so many needed thoughtfulness before action.
Gotta get a good card. But Devil, okay. That's good. They don't play Steam Vents though. Interesting. I was gonna say you need to kind of do that. It's fine. Maybe they double kill spells? But then, no, that takes both. Possibly. Alright, they need double kill spells. And they got it. Alright, Narset, do your stuff.
Hone your prowess.
Okay. They don't have double black though, do they? Do they draw double black? And game? Game. Very surprised that they -3'd the Sprite Dragon there. You'd assume you -3 the 5 drop, just in case I had any like other trick. Alright, we're on the play. Hand is good. We have things to draw. We got life stage. Everything's good here. Play red mana in turn. Opponent's playing slower deck, which is good. We're getting at least in for one before our opponent kills something. Maybe Teamer Elementals? Teamer Adventures? Okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's get in for some damage, I think. Gonna opt. I don't need another island. 4 mana is okay. Salamander's good. I actually don't mind Salamander here. We'll also Infuriate. Why not? Why not? Why not just get all the damage in? Why not do 6 damage to your face? We'll Salamander. And we'll say go. That's fine. I need red mana. So fortunately kind of sucks that we only have 1 red. I'm gonna take a lick in here. Okay. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, whatever. I messed up. I forgot. We give it double strike just to pump it. It's not gonna matter, it's still gonna die. Sucks I didn't only had 1 red mana though. Yeah. That was my fault. Of course we're playing like the one person I know that's playing blue? Like blue stuff? Interesting. I need like land. That's not gonna help. Mana's being a little weird this game. Not getting a good balance. Also stopped. Alright, I'm just gonna quit there. I mean, we got draw spells. Why not? YOLO. This is kind of like later game stuff anyway. So we'll play Salamander. We have Opt in Frantic Inventory, so we'll see. Oh, and the gods love us. Yeah, we'll pay 2. We'll get aggressive. Hiya. 4 damage to your face, sir. Yeah. Mono green so far. Alright, they're not doing much. Don't need more blue mana. Okay, game. More blue mana, got it. Light the stage. Red mana. Okay, more things that are playing with red mana. Got it. All right, we'll Frantic Inventory. I'm very concerned what our opponent's doing. Okay, protection from black. Got it. All right, red mana. I can do things. Wait, can I? Yeah, we did things. I mean, I lost a light at the stage, but I feel like that damage was important because I don't know what this does. Okay, it's +1/+1 and gains expert. All right, he's fighting it. Got it. Okay. Quest and Beast. Interesting. All right. Everything's coming up Millhouse. If I draw another spell and they kill the salamander on this turn, like if they kill the salamander, I could win. Is that instant or sorcery? It is sorcery. So they'd have to play the fight spell on their turn. I think also Primal Might is on their turn. So they're eyeing the salamander. They're like, That's actually 7 damage on board. That also gives it double strike. They also don't know what's in my hand. So they're trying to figure out, they have something to reach? That'd be the only thing here. They'd have to have something to reach. I mean, I'm going to take whatever they swing at me with. I guess they're also like, is it, okay. No blocks. I'll let you do your thing. I mean, they Quest and Beast is not going to help them. It's a body. The math is 7. I have enough mana. I have 6 cards in graveyard. Unless you have a ooze that can start eating my graveyard, that's the only thing I can think of that they could do. Okay, so I gotta get lucky and draw a spell. Is what you're telling me now? I need a spell, and I'm good. Okay. We will do this. Draw a card. GG's, right? Both instants, yep. This pretty much just acts exactly like Embercleave, essentially. All right, and on the wrap up, overall the games I played, they were definitely very interesting. In certain games, if our opponent's able to deal with our creatures and we're not able to just kind of get in our damage, just because we play very few creatures, it does make it hard for us to make up for when we kind of go down when we lose creatures. But overall, the games are pretty fun. If you want a deck that's just kind of like wants to hit your opponent for a burst and have maybe some extra wild cards and just want to have a little bit of fun, this deck is pretty fun. It's, like I said, it's very budget friendly if you're a person who doesn't have a lot of wild cards or doesn't like to spend, you know, money on the game. Definitely a very budget friendly. I think it's definitely a very straightforward deck. It's like you play creatures, you buff the creatures, you swing it at your opponent for damage. That's pretty much it. Yet again, it's another deck that's aggro-ish, that's not mono red. So if you want to do something like that, definitely I would say try this deck out. With that being said, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to know when I post other videos, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see another deck type, let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to see other videos, there's probably videos popping up as we're talking right now. But guys, I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.